Hello Internet, I'm Zon, and welcome to another Let's Play series. As you can see from the title screen there, the game we're going to be playing through in this session is another classic from the NES library, Wizards and Warriors. Now, this game was developed by Rare, who we've also seen on some of the other playthroughs and quick looks. And I know it seems like I'm playing a lot of Rare games, but the way the scheduling worked out, this game happened to come up in the lineup next. And if you think I'm going to be playing Battletoads, then, well, don't hold your breath, because I don't really want to have to suffer through that game while on camera. So this game is a side-scrolling platforming adventure game, as you might be able to tell from the opening crawl here. It is medieval fantasy themed, and what we're going to do is we're going to jump in. And right away they show you the map, where you start, all the way to where you are eventually gonna end up. And so this is our hero, the player character Kuros the Knight. And you have the ability to walk side to side, jump, pretty standard controls. When standing, you hit the B button to swing your sword. I happen to pick up a pink potion from the enemies, which I believe allows you to jump higher. And right away, as soon as you start the game, here in the forest level, everything starts to attack you. We have birds that shoot projectiles, blue monsters, I don't think they're bears, they have horns, bees, pretty much everything immediately comes after you, and in true NES fashion, the enemies don't stop coming. They constantly spawn, and they're constantly swarming at you. And as you can see in the lower left-hand corner of the screen there, the red is my life bar. The little knight helmets are lives before the game resets me back to game over. After getting a game over status, the game will basically start my points over. But this game is pretty forgiving in that if I lose all my lives, I believe it'll just let me continue where I left off. It's not going to be quite as brutal as some of the other games that we've played so far, which is good. But it's still fairly challenging. This game is somewhat linear, but has a lot of explorations you can do. And as you can see here, just as I'm demonstrating the controls and taking a lot of damage, the music has now changed. That was a chest full of gems. When you get to, I believe, 3 units of health or lower, then the game changes into sort of like a more frantic danger theme to indicate that you're low on health. And as I'm jumping up through the inside of this tree here, trying to avoid all of the spiders that come down. And so on the lower parts of the HUD here, you can see the point totals. It shows me the keys that I found so far, and then it shows my gem count at 48. And we'll see what the gems are used for in a little bit here. They're not just for points in this game, they're actually used to progress through the level. And I believe for the first level I need 100 gems. It's either 50 or 100. And along the way we can explore the different tree areas and see what kind of treasures we can find. And as you saw from the pink chest at the bottom that I opened up, each key that you get will correspond to that color chest, and then once you have the key, you can open the chest and get whatever the contents are inside. There we go. I managed to get a leg of meat, which thankfully refilled my life, so we don't have to listen to the frantic music. And I take another hit, so now the music is back. Just want to double check to make sure that was the highest point in the tree here. And so right away, everything and anything is blasting me. But my real goal is that chest there. And I died. When Kuros' life is completely depleted, you get that funny little animation of him flailing around, and then he dies, and then it pops you back to where you started, and you keep going. The weapon I just got, the Dagger of Throwing, is your projectile. It's quite handy because it allows you to pick off enemies from a distance. The red or brown, I'm gonna call it the red potion, is invincibility, I believe. It'll make it so that nothing can do damage. The goblet there is a secret that you can use to get extra points. And so if these guys give me a break to sort of explain here, this red knight with the 100 above his head is the guardian for this part of the level. In order to get past him, I've got to collect the requisite amount of gems. And then, like I mentioned before, it's 100 for this part. So all I have to do is run through the level and collect enough gems, and then he'll let me pass. What I'm trying to do is see if I can get up to the top, since there's more stuff on top of the trees where this red monster's running around. I can actually use the enemies to boost up. I just have to wait for them to get right under and they'll pop me on top of the trees. There we go. So here's some more gems. I believe there's at least one more in one of the trees. Let's see if I can get all the way over there. Boots of Force. So this one, if I hit select, it'll allow me to kick. And I believe any chest that you normally need a key for can be kicked open so that you can just get the contents right away. So that's nice. I need one more key. Each area has 3 keys, red, blue, and pink. There's the red key. And already I'm down to 1 unit of health. There is fall damage in this. And pretty much I'm gonna die a lot. This game isn't ridiculously challenging, and they don't have limited lives or continues like Blaster Master, but the enemies tend to swarm you. They don't stop coming even for a second, so a lot of the challenge is just getting through each area without taking too much damage. Because I don't really care much about points for this playthrough. I just want to get all the way through the game and explore the different zones. I've already used up 2 of my lives. I guess we'll find out what happens when I get a game over, but I'm pretty sure it just pops you back to where you started. It resets your score. Okay, so that was another chest at the bottom of this tree. And that gave me enough gems to get past the Red Knight. So now we can proceed to the next part of the level. At this point, any other gems are just extra score points. I think it'll give you a bonus at the end based on what you collect, but pretty much done with the gems at this point. Just need to proceed on, and then we can get to the next part of the level. So like I mentioned earlier, this game was created by Rare. And it's a pretty straightforward game. I always thought it was charming just because of the levels, and the music is pretty good too. It's pretty fitting in each of the zones that you get through. Oh, I wonder what's up there. Guess we can find out while we're here. Shoot that guy. Ah, the shield of protection. Okay, it's a good thing I didn't miss that. So, this weapon is a shield, and it allows me to deflect incoming projectiles. And if I'm swinging, I don't know if it'll actually protect my back, but it's definitely a helpful item to have, so I'm glad I didn't miss it. Now we are descending through the tree. There's beehives all over. I think these are hornets. And that was the first game over. If I press start, then it drops me back in exactly where I left off. It does reset my score like we thought. But other than that, there are no real penalties. So this game's not really going to be a hard game to beat. It may take a little while as I try and remember where to go, but overall, I'm not going to have to worry about restarting and playing and getting back to where I left off. Depending on how the playthrough goes as we proceed here, I may cut the parts that are kind of tedious or boring, especially if I get lost, but overall, I should be able to get through the game without much trouble. The real key will be seeing if I remember where all of the special items are, because it has been forever since I played this game. And that was an example of fall damage. So for here, I need to be able to pass through these root areas, and oh, I think I needed that. One of those was I believe the magic wand. I do want the potion of levitation eventually, but I don't think that's in here. I could be wrong. That's unfortunate. Hopefully that's an item I'll be able to get later. So the first boss right in there. This is the giant skull boss. Not too hard. He just kind of bounces all over the place. He shoots at you. If I can use my shield to block his projectiles, and I can pick him off from a distance with the dagger. Killing him gives me a bonus. And then in true old school game fashion, you rescue damsel in distress, Lucinda.